Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. But glad you're tuning in on the latest tip. Alternative salon, keep your head lit. And naturally yours, got your custom fit. T-shirt Vince and Nikki, keep your wig drip. TNT, double up the impact, call it Twinness. Hottest hairstylist in the business. Keeping topics fresh for your listening. Black owned woman independent. Like fishes hold it down on your imaging. Whether professional or apprenticeship. Showing culture love just to get you right. Black is beautiful, always shining bright. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness.
Hello, Tisha McDonald here, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And I am Tanika Gillard, naturally yours. Pulling up my Twinness, I was just sharing that with them and letting them know that we are live. How is everyone?
Everyone is great. So, do you have anything for us?
March is Disability Awareness Month. So we are just looking forward to, celebrating our disabled people, not just children, adults. It's just Developmental Disability Awareness Month, which means that they were born with disabilities. So that's what developmental means.
All right.
And that's the whole month of March. So I'm not going to say we're excited about that, but we're excited about that.
Okay. So, Tanika, I must say, I like your bang. Because my forehead is a little big. Off topic, totally.
I literally just took my curlers out because, it's raining here. And I said, well, I could come live with the curls on for the people. But I said, no, let me respect them a little bit more than that. So I took the curls out.
All right. So let's get into our topic of today. I didn't even write notes because to me, this is just... it comes just naturally. This will roll right off the tongue pretty much.
Even though it does roll off, I made some bullet points.
All right.
Just so we won't be too scattered abroad.
I got you. Mm-hmm. Bring it on.
Okay. So today's topic is counting the cost of starting a business. And first, we're going to just talk about ourselves a little bit. So, we both are in the industry. But Tisha has her standalone salon. And, so she's a full-time entrepreneur. And this is what she does. I have a suite. And so I work within a barbershop. So when you first are going into business, you need to think about what suits you. So with Tisha, she's able to travel and move around and get around. I did have a salon, but that was never really my big idea. Like I would never say, I just want a salon for myself, but I did have a salon of my own. But the reason why I didn't really want a salon was because it's a lot of overhead and upkeep. So for myself, knowing that, wasn't something that I really, now it made 100 score every time the board came in. But the reason why we really closed down was because I didn't have access to my building, being that it was on an upper level and I couldn't get my daughter up and down as she got older. So that's the only reason why I really shut down. But it was not really a dream of mine to have my own. So you need to know yourself first. I guess that's the first point. Know yourself. And then 2, for me, with my family situation, it's easier for me to rent a space and see, that goes into point number 2, knowing your laws in your state. 2, for me, it was easier for me to rent a space, pay my booth rent, and not have all the overhead. I don't have to worry about my mortgage and then rent at the shop, my house bills and then bills at the shop, my toiletries at the house and then toiletries at the shop. I could just pay my weekly fee and be through with it. It works good for me and my family. And y'all know I'm only there part-time. So it worked out better for me. Go ahead, T.
All right, so you made 2 points. So the first one, you didn't, that wasn't really your dream, but so for me, I knew coming out of beauty school that I did not want to work for anyone. Matter of fact, my teacher and I would get into a little back and forth because she would say, you need to learn this. So when you go and work at a salon, you need to know this. And I'm like, I'm not going to be going to a salon. I know what I'm going to be doing. So you can't let other people try and kind of dictate what your life is going to be. And so I won't even say what the dispute was about, but I knew, and I still to this day don't do what she thought that I would be doing. And so I knew I was going to go into natural hair care, braiding and locks and twists and stuff like that. But I don't think she understood to the extent that I was going to be going with this. And so I already knew I wasn't going to be working. And then what made me open as well is, and we're going to be talking about the course, guys. We're going to be talking about the course. But the other thing also was,
this is part of the course.
This is part of the course. You have to see an opening. And I moved out here and I saw an opening for a natural hair care salon. There is none. I was the first one. And as a matter of fact, one of my good friends and clients came to me and she said, Tisha, you're still the only one, and I've been open 14 years. I'm still the only natural hair care specialist in the area. Even though other salons may say we do natural hair, doing natural hair and being a natural hair care specialist is a different thing. So I'm still 14 years later, the only one. And it's the area in which I live, and I know this. So that was the first point. And then the second point you made was, what was it?
The legalities.
Like legalities.
I can booth rent.
A booth. And out here in Pennsylvania, you cannot. In Delaware, you cannot. In Virginia, you cannot. However, in New York City, you can. And I do not know New Jersey state law because I don't have a license in New Jersey, but I do have it for New York and I have it for Delaware and Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so this is counting the cost, knowing what you want versus what other people are pushing you to do, because we have a mutual, whose family feels like she needs to keep her business where she feels like she needs to shut it down. But you have to do what's best for you and your family when you're counting the cost of owning your own business. So, and that mentality too, why are you trying to go into business for yourself? Is it just for spite, just because you just don't want to listen to other people? Or is it something that you really feel passionate about? Like, I really love doing this. I know I can make a living out of it. Because sometimes it's just, I'm going to start my own business. Okay. But that's just,
we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your intentionality. Yes.
Yes. And I do like the fact that I work for myself because, like you, I work part-time. I only work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, some Tuesdays, but I'm able to just tell my clients I'm going on vacation this week or what have you. And so I do like that part of owning my own business.
I love it because you can set your own schedule. And so for me, I work Friday, Saturday, and some Sundays. There's something sticking out somewhere. But anyway, and some Sundays, and I like to be able to juggle my schedule as well, because sometimes if I don't want to go in, I don't, or if I need to make up some work from my other job, sometimes I'll just make some runs and do some visits that way. So yes, having that freedom of your time is a good thing,
And I'm able to, like last year and this year, I was able to make my schedule where I did not miss any of my son's football games and the such. So this is his senior year, and it was very important for me to be there for his games, you know.
Yeah. And, even with me, and we're going to move on to the next point. I have the one day Thursday that I'm off during the weekday. Sometimes I'll go in, sometimes I won't. And I have that flexibility. I like it because I can get my daughter's stuff taken care of, or like the college students are coming home for spring break, I can open up that Thursday and say, hey, I'm open, so I have that leeway. So having that freedom is important for both of us, I guess. Okay, so then we look at the finance as an issue for starting your own business. So when I think finances, I'm thinking, like I said before, your household and your business. Are you able to carry that load of having both? And then not only that, when it comes to finances, I'm looking at, do you need a business loan? Do you need grants? How are you getting funding for your business? So you have all of the financial part when we talk about counting the cost of opening your business. So I know a lot of times we have a lot of online businesses, and sometimes it's easier, it's not as costly because now you don't have a brick and mortar building, but now you have ads that you might have to run instead, or marketing campaigns that you might have to do instead of having that building, so then you have to think about those things. Can you finance it? And then you're thinking about your logo and your branding for your packaging and, things like that, your inventory, if you're doing like a clothing business or whatever, or whatever business that you do, cups, jewelry, you have to think about how you're going to finance all that stuff. Is it in your budget? How are you going to make that work? I'm sorry, T, go ahead.
Oh, no, you were fine with that. So, yeah, you were mentioned about the cost for, like, let's say toiletries, home and business, mortgage and rent, leasing a space, owning, that is so true. Mm-hmm. You have to count the cost for those type things. And I teach in my class, I teach my students, if you cannot afford it without employees or someone working under you, then you cannot afford it. And right now I'm in this space. Some of you know, some of you may not, but I'm opening up a school. And now my time won't be as free because I will be there Monday through Friday, but the cost is something high, this is going to be like just out of the box for me, but I'm ready to take the risk. That's another thing. You have to know, what is your risk
index?
Yes. Are you a high risk taker? Are you a low risk taker? So, my daughter and I were talking about this at Target, and I said, Ray, I'm always willing to take a risk. I'm willing to bet on myself. If you're not going to bet on yourself, then don't do it, so because anyway, it doesn't even matter. But I'm telling her now, as a young one, because I would love her to be an entrepreneur. I want her to have her own practice when she's goes into law, but again, it's according to your risk. I know I will be able to handle this. I cannot let this opportunity pass me by. I have said this on several shows before. You have to be quick to make a decision. And then, to me, let the chips fall where they may. Because I could have let this opportunity go, and I'm never going to find this opportunity again. So I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to bet on myself. And no, I don't have the finances right now, but it's coming. You know why? Because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I believe, make sure your credit is good. So am I really worried? No, because I'm going to walk right up in the bank and I'm going to say, yeah, I need a loan. And here's my credit score. They're going to go through everything. But I'm also, like you mentioned, grants and loans and stuff like that. I am working with the SBA, and they've been very, very helpful with me. I have my business plan so we can see the projections. What am I looking to make this year, in 3 years, and then in 5 years? So that I just actually completed this week. So going with a plan. And that's counting your costs. How much is it going to cost you per month in rent, utilities, your time? Your time is valuable as well. Mm-hmm. Gas, everything, so that's the financial part of it. How are you going to afford this? So let me tell you, my accountant, because I was listening to something right before we got on, and I'm sorry to babble. Mm-hmm. And it's another school owner, Tanika. I had gone to her when I came down south, and I just saw a blurb on Facebook, and she was saying, the 3 things that stop you from achieving your dream is you're scared. Fear is the number 1. And so I want my children to know I'm not scared to fail. Sometimes you got to fail to succeed. And another thing she said for her, she said all her life she's been doing hair and taking classes, and it was setting her up to be a teacher. It was setting her up to own her school. And that's us, Tanika. I teach a lot. I speak a lot. I'm teaching right now. And so this was all a setup for me to have this school. I know right now I am where I'm meant to be. This all set me up. And especially the space is amazing. Amazing. It's double this. Oh my God. Anyway. And then she said, you know, don't tell people what you want to do because people will discourage you from doing it. That's where I had a little bit of a disagreement, because I feel like I have so many people backing me, so many people in my corner. I have a team that's behind me. I have you, Tanika. I have my girl, Donna, always in my corner. I have my girl, Cheryl, who's in the background, always in the front, helping me out with the computer work and stuff like that. I have my girl, Renee, who's like, Tisha, I'm down. You know, I have Saja, who we already know. And so
now
I don't say keep your dream a secret, because you don't know who's going to be able to help you. If you keep it a secret, nobody's going to be able to help you. And sometimes you need that person to give you an encouraging word. Donna is my accountability partner. Cheryl is my accountability partner. Tisha, what 3 things are you going to get done this week? And I have to report back to them, what did I get done this week?
Okay, you got a few things. Credit is number one. You have to have good credit. I've had a young person ask me about that, about starting a wig line that she wants. And I'm like, well, what's your credit look like? You know, if you're trying to get loans and stuff, they want to see the bank ain't just going to give you money to start a business, and you don't have good
up their
credit.
range too. They're tightening up.
Yes, they're not going to just give money away like that. That's number one. You was talking about not letting everyone know, and both for and against, because it depends on the people.
Who you're letting you know.
That's right, because not everybody's going to feed into your dreams. Sometimes not even your spouse is going to feed into your dreams. So if you're dating someone and they're not backing you, they don't need to know. Family sometimes hate on you. They don't need to know, because everyone that says they're cheering for you is really stabbing you behind the back. However, I think his name is Jonathan Brown, and he has a song, every time you see me, you're going to see me winning. And so I like that verse in his song. It's a gospel song.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Brown.
Yes. And that's what you do for your haters. It's like, every time you see me, you thought I wasn't going to do it, but you're going to see me winning every time. So that's how you deal with your haters. But what were you going to say?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, no. So that's how I feel about that. But yeah, so counting up all of the costs, because we counted all your inventories, like you make your soaps and you got your oils and I got my bows and stuff like that. And that was the third thing that you said. Everything leads you up to this point. And I always say that about nursing, because people always ask, are you going to go back to school? Are you going to go back to school? I feel like I did what I needed to do for the reason I have my daughter. Like, everything led me up to her. Like, I wasn't into special needs until I was a school nurse with special needs, not knowing that I was going to have a child with special needs. And so everything up until that point led me. So then when she was born, I knew the equipment, because I started out in therapy as a therapy nurse, rehab nurse. And so I got to see all of the equipment and work with the equipment. And now I'm like, okay, well, my daughter needs this, that, and the other, you know. So it was a setup for that. And then it helped me to form Rainbows when she got here. Just unique, handmade, just a plug, y'all, handmade knitwear with our special needs community in mind, which we will be at the Special Needs Expo next Saturday. We're excited about that. Next Saturday, Rain will be with me, keeping me company, showing her brand next. Okay, so anyway, we're going to move on to the next thing when we talk about counting the cost, having your vision and your inspiration. And I'm going to say this. I was talking to a client yesterday. She's so excited about the journey that she's going to go on. She's always been a lover of books and reading. And her sister is a well-known publisher and author. She's about to move to London with her company. And so her company is sending her. So she's always had this love. And so now she's coming back full circle for what she loves. So her inspiration, her vision, for what she wants. And she's like, I'm not settling, this is what I want. And this is what I'm focused on getting. You have anything to add to that?
No, I was thinking, are you down for the grind? Are you down for the grind? Because what I'm about to embark on, it's a lot of grunt work. It's a lot of red tape. There's not many up north that owns a beauty school. There's not many women up here that own a beauty school. There's not many minority women up here that owns a beauty school. So it's the red tape, having to go through that. And again, counting the costs. So my rent is quadruple what I pay or have ever paid. It's quadruple. My landlord is going to give me 3 months free rent while the contractors and stuff come in and do their work. But after that 3 months, what if they're not done in 3 months? How am I recruiting students if I can't really recruit in 3 months? I can't give them a tour. I can't show them what the school looks like. Nothing. So it's almost looking like I won't get my first student until the 4th month or 5th month. And while we're talking about that, the advertising, like you said, that marketing, I have to hit the ground with the advertisements, maybe the billboards, the direct mail, the this, that, and the other. These are costs that you have to consider when you're starting a business. But do you have the grind? Do you have the grunt work? Are you going to do what it takes to make this run? And I must say this while I'm talking about it, my accountant, former accountant, he said to me, I said to him that I wanted to open a school. This was like 2 years ago, maybe 3. And I said, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it. He said, Tisha, you will figure it out. You will always have made a way. If you are working at your salon right now and teaching right now, why can't you have your school right now and still come back to PA, at least for the year until you get your school up and running? And even if you just work the one day, he said, you're not going to be short any clients. So just come in the one day and make whatever monies I need to make to keep it going. But also, do you know, when I fill out my application for a loan, I'm going to put that cushion in there to be able to sustain for a year, so you have to think business. You have to think smarter, not just take the money that you may get as a loan and spend it. You have to save it. You have to keep something to the side for emergencies like that.
2 things. You got kind of the point that you were making was under a different heading for me is like, okay. But I'll come back to that one. When do you quit? Or
okay, yeah.
Okay. But we was talking about going into business and not telling all your business to everyone. I know someone that wanted to start a business. They went out and bought all of the tools and supplies. The person they was going into business with just dropped out. The business never got off the ground. The equipment still sitting in my basement. So, and that was family. Like, you can't always do business with family. You can't always do business with friends. So that's why you have to be careful on who you going into business with. Do they have an equal share? Are they going to lose as much as you're going to lose? Sometimes in partnerships, one has more to lose than the other. No, it should be equitable. If I'm losing, you losing too, not just I'm holding the bag.
That's where contracts come in play.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with family sometimes.
Okay. Especially with family.
Okay. Counting the cost. How is this going to take a toll on your health? Are you healthy enough? Are you strong enough? Are you mentally stable, like to do this stuff? Because sometimes
owning the business is not for the weak-minded.
Yeah, it could grind on you sometime, having a business and trying to juggle family life. We have our girl, Miss Jewel, who's single and has a thriving business, but that's a good thing. And me and her mom talk about it all the time. Get it while you still young, don't have no children, don't got no real boo. You just go ahead and do what you got to do while you can. So because sometimes that will get in your way. It'll play with your head. It'll play with your finances. It'll just play in your life, and you don't need no distractions. Sometimes you just need the full blinders, straight ahead, like forget it to the left or the right. that's even when you're in school. I know a lot of friends or whoever that's in nursing school or law or whatever, they got to focus right here. Yes, you have this going on, this going on, this going on, but you got to stay focused because those are things that's going to distract you and pull you away from what you're doing. But if you stay focused on what you're supposed to do, now that's just for myself right there, because when it gets to time for my doing stuff with Rainbow, sometimes I get sidetracked and I don't focus, but it's going to get done.
But that's when you have, like my Cheryl's, it's the accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you were saying for her, do it young. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm doing it while I'm old. You know why? I am old and healthy, and I'm at the age where I'm soon going to be an empty nester. My daughter graduates high school next year. She's going to go off to college. Nobody's going to be thinking about me. And I'm too young to be old, like, oh, what am I doing? My kids are not here. And you hear that all the time. Oh, my kids, it's so depressing that they're all No. My kids know I'm a grinder. They never know where I am. They never know. My nickname is Roadrunner. I'm never here. And, it teaches them to kind of be independent as well. But it also teaches them, mom ain't lazy. And if mom is home, if she's down and out, then there's something wrong with her. Even when I go for my walks and my jogs, they're not going to see me for an hour and a half. You think they texting me, calling me, saying, Mom, where are you? No, they like, Mom is out for her run. Now, if I'm taking too long, they better check up on me. But I had to reverse doing it young. And for me, the reason I say do it older, one, I have more experience now. Two, because my children are older, I feel like I don't have to. But again, you said that she was single. She doesn't really have a boo, and I'm married. But I feel like this is my 50th birthday gift. I feel like 50 is still young. I got maybe another 10 years left in me, maybe 15. And then the business is going to have to, I'm going to have to turn it over to someone. And that will be in my contract as well. I'll have to put all the legalities of this business, particularly. You have to make sure you cover your behind.
So there is no right or wrong time to start a business if that's something that you're passionate about or have been thinking about. Y'all are watching Twin This. Thank you for joining. Thank you for catching the replay. Hopefully these tips will help you guys. Y'all will get some information that's going to help you. We are talking about counting the cost of starting your own business, because we get bombarded when we're on the show, after the show, in the salon, at my job. People stop us and ask us business questions and how should they get started? What should they be doing? And so we just really wanted to focus in. I think this whole month, we're going to be talking business stuff for, not just salon owners, but just entrepreneurs in general, because if you don't have good credit, the banks are not going to give you no loan. If you don't, Tisha's learning this now. If you don't have a plan in place, they're like, no, we need something in writing. Like she said, it has to be stamped and in print. They want it in ink. Know what you want to do. Don't let people distract you. Stay focused and on your grind. Know what you can handle. Can you handle it at the house and at your own business? But we're going to keep going on. Did you have something?
Beware of the ones that want to tag along. They want to ride your coattail, because you'll have people come out the woodworks as if they were there from the beginning and they weren't. They just they see you succeeding and they want to have something to say, and they weren't really supportive from you from the beginning. I am thankful for my clients, and I see Melvina's on here. Girl, Melvina has heard me say quite a few things, and I have my plan. My plan is to have my school. After having the school and we start being profitable, I still want to have my transitional housing. I will never let that one go. And then I would like to open up an alternatives beauty studio up here so my students can have employment once they graduate from school. So I have my 3 things that I'm doing, and these are 3 separate things, but you have to have your goal time. So maybe I'll say for the first 5 years, I'm just getting my school off the ground. And then I say, okay, well, I'm making a good amount of money now. This is what I want to do next. Have this studio so my students can go. And then, oh yes, I never forgot about my foster children, because we are foster care to fabulous. I want them to have transitional housing. I already know the name of my foster my transitional house. I already know the name of it. Oh, don't stop me. But Malvina, you my girl.
And to that effect, I want to say yes. People say, don't let people put you in a box either, because people will say you're doing too much. Not only do we hear that, but I know, like my girl D, she does so much. It's like, how are you doing all of this stuff? But don't let people say you're doing too much. Yes.
Don't let people limit you.
Don't let people limit you, because when you feel you're doing too much, that's when you say, when you know within yourself, like I had Cordell Sugar Scrubs, Naturally Yours, and Rainbows. And so I had 3 businesses running at the time, but I couldn't keep up with the Sugar Scrubs as much. And Cordell was very young at that time. So we just let that business go. I do make my oils from time to time for my clients, but you have to know when you're doing too much. You can't let somebody else say that you're doing too much. Also, with your business, when you're thinking about how you want to form it, create it, when you have your vision for your business, don't let other people tell you, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. A million times people have said, Nikki, why don't you open up a care center for special needs? That's not what I want to do. I don't want to be responsible for more special needs. I love the community, but I only could deal with what's on my plate right now. I can't let you add on to my plate. And even though y'all are saying you could get grants for this and that, it's not what it is for me. People have said the same thing about Rainbows. You need to make it a 501c, make it a nonprofit. It's not what I want for myself. It's not what I envision for myself. We like to give back to the community, but we do it in our way, the way we like to do it, small and quiet, not necessarily grand. So don't let others that don't have a foot in the game try to tell you how to do what you do.
Don't let them speak on your vision.
Right. You have to be comfortable with what you're doing and how you're doing and presenting.
So let me tell you, someone told me that I needed to start small. Who do you know who got started big? But Let me tell you, when I saw this space, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you, it's 5,000 square feet big. That ain't small.
Right.
It's double what is necessary for the state of PA. And I'm like, but now it's like, how are you going to furnish this? But yeah, you cannot let people's opinions deter you from your own dream or what you see. I see how I want my layout to be. Matter of fact, I have an architect coming. Hopefully we can meet this week instead of next week. And I'm going to tell him my vision and he's going to put it on paper because I do have to submit that. But yeah, don't let anybody tell you how you should run what you have.
The next thing that I had on my list was counting the cost of how it's going to affect your family. Tisha and I are different again. Like, y'all already know our differences. So my family, the special needs, I can't run on 150 like Tisha could because she has independent children. So me being away, how is that going to affect my daughter? How is that going to affect my son, who's already limited on what he can do because he's trying to help me? So how is starting this business going to affect your family life? Are you going to have time to spend with your spouse? Are you going to have time to spend with your children? Are they going to help you build the business? Are they expected to help you build the business? What if they don't want to have any part of your business? How is this affecting your family? Are you being away too much and it's causing strife within your family? Because you have to think about them, their feelings, their needs, their wants, as well as what you're trying to do. Yes, you're trying to grind and get it for the family. Are they at an age that they understand that you have to put in the grunt work to reap the reward? Sometimes it depends on the age of the children, if they could understand what's going on here. Like I said, with the Sugar Scrubs, my son was very young, so he didn't understand we got to charge $5, but we got to put $2 back in the business. He didn't understand it then. Now he's saying, Mom, could we go back to that business? And I'm like, you're not as cute as you used to be when you was 5 or 6. So yeah, we have to count what our family, how it's going to affect our family in the long run.
Now, let me tell you something. I'm putting it out there, and I hope my husband don't see this. But for me, the first business, the salon, he wasn't really that supportive.
Yeah.
But when I had my first hair show, he was standing right there, and he would say, yeah, I was supportive, but I'm gonna tell you, he really wasn't. He wanted me to work at another salon, and I'm like, that is not for me. Don't put me pretty much in that box. I'm gonna get this place, and it was not expensive at all, and I'm back there right now. And so he says, right now, he says, you're just there because of the rent. I'm like, yes, I am. Why should I move? But this business, this school business, I had to give him credit. He has been by my side 100% of the way so far. He has gone with me to see the spaces, different spaces. We've been, going back and forth for a couple of weeks. He went with me to meet the manager of this building that I'm getting. He came with me to the New York City, to the International Beauty Show last week. We're there picking out equipment. We're there specific. We were on a mission. I need to go to every equipment place that's here today. I'm not here to flim flam and look at the cutesy stuff. No, I need to get equipment. And it was 2 classes I wanted to take. And that was it. We got in, we did our business, and we got out of the city. But he has been with me every step of the way. He's given me a little bit of advice like, okay, you know how much your rent is going to be. Call the utility companies and find out what was the rent when the previous tenant was there. Maybe you can get kind of a gauge on how much your utilities are going to be. I said, Walter, that's a good idea. However, this is a school, so the electric is going to be running constantly. The water bill is going to be running constantly. But okay, yes, I will get a baseline on how much those things were.
Well, when we talk about family, and people that don't support you necessarily, you have to think about, he had to see that you was serious and that you were succeeding, and now he could understand what it all takes. When you have someone that's a business mind with a person that's a worker mind, it's 2 different mindsets. So
2 different mindsets.
But now he sees more of your vision. He sees that you've been in your business long enough, that you've been teaching, that you've been doing. And sometimes your spouse needs to see that in order to give that support and effort.
You also have to be able to put your foot down. Yeah, my thing was, I'm not opening up a salon in Delaware. You want me to be in Delaware? We're opening up a school. And then sometimes you have to make them think bigger for you. Don't put me in that box. But you had mentioned about being away from because when you start a business, you're there 24 hours trying to make sure things get set. My kids, again, I know it's differences. They're old enough to understand mom is at work. Mom is just starting this. Mom is busy. But even when they were 3, 4, and 5, when I first started, mom was at work. Dad had to take over. He had to be there at night because I was grinding, working until 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that because I needed to get my clients. So it's going to be the same thing here. We were even debating. He's the one who's like, Tisha, you need to work from 9 to 9. I'm like, what? And I'm okay with that. My children don't want to be in the business. Raylee is like, I will never do hair. And I'm okay with that because she has to live her own dream. So you can't push your dream off onto your children. However, my husband feels differently. It's a family business and the family need to run it. So, but I can't force her to do something. She has her own dreams and aspirations, and I would never want to hold my child back. Again, that's when you have to have your legalities in place. Who will take over when I can no longer do this? I already have my person who's going to take over when I can no longer do this. But this has to be in writing. And what is her responsibilities? It's going to stay in the Alternatives McDonald name, and she'll be paid a salary. So counting the cost, you have to have a good lawyer. You have to have a good accountant when you're talking about the cost. Your accountant is going to be the one to tell you what's your entity, what should it be? Because I'm coming in saying, oh, I have a C Corp. I want my school to be a C Corp. But no, the accountant is a new accountant, LLCs. Most beauty schools are LLCs, and they're LLCs for a reason. And he listed off the reasons. And even on my business plan, I had typed Alternatives Beauty School will be a C Corp. Da, da, da. I had to go back in and change it. Alternatives Beauty School will be an LLC.
Mhm.
So you have to know, you have to have good advisors for this. And can they handle what type of business you're in? And you have to make sure you have your insurances. These are all different types of expenses that you need to account the cost for. But we were talking about family and being away and not wanting to own the business. Yeah, that was it. That's all I had.
It was something. Yes. So the young lady was talking to me about her goal and everything like that, and payroll. So that's a cost. So if you're going to have employees, have you factored in their salary? We're not at $10 an hour anymore. We're more at $15 maybe. So do you have the resources to pay these people? Because when she was telling me about the staff that she want and the hours that she want them to work, I'm like, well, starting out, it might just be you and your two kids, like until you can afford to pay people to be there. And again, that goes back to legalities, payroll and things like that. Because she was like, well, I won't pay myself for the first year. Well, you need to check into that, because you have to pay yourself, because then the banks are going to say, well, where's the profit? Your taxes, where's your profit? Like, how you not making
It's
any
not
money?
even that. If you don't pay yourself, you will be audited.
So, well, that's taxes, accounting, payroll, all of that stuff, And so I was telling her that, I'm like, you can't not pay yourself. There's no such thing, in order to pay your, so that's counting the cost. You can't just pay them and not pay yourself. And you have to have records of paying them when you're a legal business.
And this is why, like, if you know you don't do something, then you hire somebody to do it. Now, I wouldn't give the payroll to my accountant per se. I would use who I'm using now. I'm not going to put out any names because we don't really do that. But I do use a company to do my payroll, because I know I'm not going to be on top of it like that. That's just not something that I do. And it was something else. I always tell my students that as well. But you had said something. Go back, Nikki.
Not paying yourself.
Oh, yeah. I always have this joke. I'm like, I pay myself minimum wage. And it's the truth. I do pay myself the minimum wage, because what the IRS wants to see is that it's a consistent, or a bank, they want to see that you're consistently paying yourself. Not today I'm paying myself, $20 an hour, and tomorrow I'm paying myself $2 an hour. They don't want to see that. They want to see consistency. So I just have myself on a salary. And I pay myself minimum wage on a salary. You know what I'm saying? So
you almost at below minimum wage. But anyway, we are talking about counting the cost of starting your own business. And you have to take in finances. Who's going to fund your business? Are you going to do a GoFundMe? Are you going to be able to get bank loans? If so, how are you going to pay that back? We're talking about inventory. How are you going to pay for your inventory? How are you going to pay for your products? How are you going to keep them in stock? How are you going to do those things? We're talking about your time. Do you have the time to invest in starting your own business? Because it takes away from your family. It takes away from your social activities. If you're a social butterfly, you might have to reel that in and really focus on your business. How long will it take for your business to get off the ground and become profitable? Can you withstand until that time? Can you wait the 3 to 5 years before your business actually picks up and takes off the ground? Do you have a vision, a real vision and plan for your business? And for me, it's taken me years to really figure out rainbows. I'm still figuring out rainbows as I go along, but it's coming closer to what I need it to be. I'm really seeing it better now, but because of continuing education classes, I'm always learning something. I'm always in a class. So that's a cost, because you need to stay within your realm. You need to stay educated and up on what's going on in your field, in your arena. How is it going to affect your health? You're going to have late nights, early mornings, days that you don't eat, days that you can't sleep because you got this going on. What you're going to do if you have a cost of the roof caving in on your building that you just leased out and now whatever. So now your business is going to be pushed back. That is a cost that you have to think about. Where are your resources? Do you have people that's really going to be there with you and grinding with you? Or are they going to fall off? Do you have community support? The people that you thought was going to support you, they end up saying, no, I'm not going to be able to do it. What do you do in those cases? And lastly, for me, when do you quit?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Couple of things that you said while you were talking. Okay. One is I teach my class, and this is going to be in a different discussion. You have to separate. I tell them all the time, and we have in-depth discussions in class. And this is what's going to make my beauty school so much different than the beauty schools out here. One, the beauty schools will say, yeah, you could work for a salon or you can own a salon. They're never going to tell you how to open up a school. But they're not going to teach what I'm getting ready to say right now. You have to be able to separate your business credit from your personal credit. As soon as I created my LLC and got my EIN number, the first thing I did was make an account with Dun & Brad. So when I'm ready to apply for everything, my EIN is going to be there, not my social security number. You have to be able from the beginning to separate your business from your personal credit. And this is too deep. Go ahead.
My one comment on that, yes, everyone knows I work in a shop. But when I moved from my shop into the shop, I asked the owner, I said, I need to be able to keep my name because I do have my own personal business account, as well as I have a business account as well as my personal account. I do have that EIN number. My accountant asks me every year, do you still want to keep it open? Yes, I want to keep it open. And I have reasons that I want to keep it open, but she just wants to make sure that that's what I still want to do because I'm in another building. So yes, having that business credit, but let's keep in mind, folks, that your personal credit, that your credit score, your personal credit score is still going to affect your business credit score. And I can tell you right now, Tisha and I both have excellent credit. So that's the number one thing when you're opening up a business. And on that note, you can get loans and stuff, but you're going to pay a higher interest rate if you get approved without having good credit.
Okay, so let me touch back. We're going to be just back and forth on this for a minute because my credit score is good. But initially, they will look at your personal credit. Once you build up your business credit to high enough, they're not going to even consider your personal credit. They're only going to look at your business credit scores because it's two totally separate things. Your personal credit is, let's say, 0 to 850. Your business credit is just 0 to 100. So it's two totally different things. They're totally different. And so in the beginning, when you're first starting out, they're going to look at your personal credit because they got to see where they stand with you. Once, like my business is 14 years old. Once your business has already been in business for a minute, they're no longer looking at my personal credit. They're looking strictly at my business credit. And sometimes in the beginning, you do have to do a personal guarantee saying that you will be responsible if you fall off, not the business. If your business doesn't fail, they're still going to come after you because you're given a personal guarantee. But that happens in the beginning because they don't know you. They haven't felt you out yet. Actually, I just did this and there's different tiers to business credit, but we're not here to talk about business credit. There's different tiers. And I actually went up another tier and they were like, I wish I had more people like you. And this was maybe 3 weeks ago. I got an additional, bump up the tier because they were like, I wish we had more people like you, And
you have to understand, and me and our sister Cynthia, we talk about this all the time. You have to understand that banks and stuff, they don't know you. And the only way they're going to know if you're a good judge of character is through your credit. If, that's going to be the way that they can tell, you have all of these outstanding bills that you didn't pay off. Why should we trust you to pay us off? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The other thing was sacrifice, the sacrifice what kind of sacrifice are you willing to make, and how much of an investment are you going to put into yourself? I'm about to do something real deep, and yes, pay your bills on time, your visions and your, I wrote it down, and keeping current on the things. So let's say you're in the hair industry. I just went to the International Beauty Show. I took 2 classes, but I was really there and I got to see what's the latest in technology as far as for skincare and stuff like that. So I was able to do that. But let me tell you something. What's going to make Alternatives Beauty School different from these schools out here, besides teaching my students about business credit, separate? My business course is going to be what separates me. Natural hair care, braiding, locking, twist is going to separate me, because they're learning from someone experienced, not, oh, I've been here 22 years and I really don't know how to do that, but let's watch this video and maybe you could get it from there. No, my students are not going to get that. They're going to get the real deal. What's going to separate me? Instead of them coming into school on a Saturday to do work, makeup work, they're going to be workshops there. We're going to be paying for people to come in. If you want to be a esthetician and you want to do that Brazilian, we're having someone come in to teach you that Brazilian. If you want to learn how to do eyelash extensions, that's not part of your curriculum. And that's not something I do, but I will have a guest speaker come in for an additional fee, of course, for the students to learn how to do these lash extensions. So what makes Alternatives Beauty School different? This is your alternative. That's what's going to make me different. Keeping your vision fresh, clean, being on point. I love my young people because the young people can bridge the gap. I mean, they're going to learn from me and my experience, and I'm going to learn from them what is the new trends today. And that's what keeps me young.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because with all of the technology and stuff that's going on, I can't keep up with these kids. And that's why, I'm always hiring out for people to do different graphics and things for me, because it's not my area, and nor do I want to stress out about it. If you know how to do it, you go ahead and take that with you, and I can help you with what I know. So.
Okay. Miss Armstrong was like, she wants to do, be in the hair care business and retailing. Do you want a storefront?
And while we're waiting for her to respond, there's a lot of stuff that's going online. Like there's like hair classes, schools and stuff that are online, and you don't get that hands-on feel that you would, in class. And so, yes, you have to count that cost, Miss Armstrong, on having a retail store versus a virtual store. What's going to be your hours? Again, you heard you've been with us from the beginning of the topic of the things that's going to take place in your business. So, and counting all of the costs that it will take to have your own business. And again, y'all are watching Twin This. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for catching the replay, because we always get questions after the show. We get questions all throughout the week. And that's what helps us to come up with these topics for you guys, is that y'all always are asking either myself or my sister.
We switch it up because we have our topics for the year, but we end up conforming it to what you guys are asking us either during the week or what have you. Go ahead,
so this month, for the month of March, we're going to just be talking business with you guys. Mainly, y'all, we're in the hair industry, but these tips are for any industry, making sure that you count the cost for every industry. And of course, counting the cost is in the Bible. You have to know what you're doing before you start building. So before you start building, is there a market for what I'm doing?
Write it down and make it plain. I see my rooms, but I need to write it down. I haven't written it down. I have it. Mm-hmm. I won't lose it, but I still need to write it down because I don't want to forget those little touches that I might want in there.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay to tweak. It's okay to tweak. It's okay to go back and revise the vision, Yes. So
I never force it out. Just write a little check. But yes. She did. She said she wants a brick and mortar. Let me tell you something. Depending on the size, see what was happening with me. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. And my husband, that's why he was with me. Out here, they do something called a triple net, meaning, let's say you're in the mall. What are those called, Tanika? Strip mall. And I did this once, and I said never again. And matter of fact, my landlord had read my lease before. My lawyer had read the lease before I even signed it, but I only needed to be there temporarily. He said, get out of this as soon as possible. It was a 2-year lease. And it was one of those triple net. Triple net means you're paying for the landlord's taxes on his building and you're paying for the landlord's insurance on top of what your rent is. So the very first building that I saw, and I'm talking to Miss Baker right now specifically, the very first building I saw was $5,188. By the time he finished adding the tax and the insurance, it came to almost $6,000, and it was 2,800 square feet. Do I want to pay that? First of all, I don't want to pay the landlord's taxes or insurance on top of I have to pay my own taxes and my own insurance. So I definitely don't want to pay yours. So I knew that that wasn't the way for me. And I noticed that in the state of Delaware, a lot of the landlords have that in their contract. But it wasn't only that. When you're looking at these leases and you're talking to the realtors, on top of that, it was, I don't know what state you live in, but if it snows outside, you're responsible for that snow. If they decorate for Christmas, they decorate for Easter, they decorate whatever decorations, those lights are on 24 hours a day. They pass that bill on to you. So you're not now just paying that almost $6,000. You're paying that almost $6,000 plus whatever the fee, those CAM fees, that's what they call it, common area maintenance fees, on top of your own utility. So I was like, no, this is not for me. The place that we found is, and they charge $27 per square foot.
I see that you're in Mississippi. So find out, make sure you read your leases. That's what Tisha's trying to get her point. Make sure you read the lease. Make sure an attorney maybe read the lease. Make sure you get a full understanding of what you're signing before you get into that building. Make sure your location is a good, optimal area where people are going to see your business. Make sure that you have the promotions that you want going on your social media platforms, whatever they are, wherever you are. And so that's how you would get started there with your brick and mortar. Again, go ahead, and Tisha does a lot of products for her business. So you want to find your wholesales. You want to find what you can get and how you want to do it. Tisha does a lot of different stuff with her products. I'm not going to go into that. That's her own thing right there. She has her skincare line. She has her shampoo bars. She has everything going on over there, but that's all labeled with her stuff. It's all alternative. So when you're thinking about the cost again, when you're doing your personal labeling, that costs money. Like I'm getting stuff for Rainbows that's branded so that all her packaging, when it goes out, is branded, and you'll know. So Ms. Armstrong, make sure you check your laws in your state. And again, that's why we come to you guys. I'm in Alabama. Tisha's in Delaware. The laws are different in every state. Tisha cannot do booth rent where she is, but I could do booth rent where I am. So know your laws in your state.
You can even ask for a non-binding lease. That way you can read it before you sign anything. You could take it to your lawyer your lawyer, your real estate attorney, and let them read over it and tell you what you might want crossed out of it, because an agreement is just an agreement. If you don't agree with something, you can take it out of a contract, or you could just turn it down flat. And so I knew that wasn't going to be the way for me. And so I'm happy I found a space that's double the amount of space that they were going to rent to me. 2,800 square feet. I'm looking at a 5,000 square foot. Mm-hmm. At the same cost, actually less. You know why? Because he's only charging me 87 cents per square foot. 85 cents per square foot. And that's in the contract. All
right. So we're going to wrap this up real quick. When do you quit? When do you say, I'm not going to do this business. It's not working for me. I don't see it going anywhere.
You quit when, Tanika, let me tell you something. This is the other thing. I'm not gonna quit without a fight. I'm gonna quit when I'm in the deadest of my debt. I'm sorry to say it, and this might be bad advice. So don't, I'm not no lawyer or nothing like that. So this is for entertainment purposes only. Let me just try and cover my butt as best as I can. I will max out every credit card, every whatever.
Going down, kicking and screaming.
I'm going down, kicking and screaming. I am not going down without a fight.
Kicking through the grave.
I'm going to try and barter. I am going to try and negotiate. I'm going to go down, kicking and screaming. But if at the end you cannot hold on, then you just have to say, okay, this isn't working. And you have to legally shut down properly. You have to shut down things properly with the IRS for sure. You have to shut down legally with Labor and Industry or the Department of Labor. I don't know what they call it out there. And you have to close down properly with your business, whatever your business borough is out there. So 3 people you have to shut down with legally in order for it to close, unless you will still continue to get bills on top of bills. And the IRS will still be looking for you because you didn't shut down with them properly. Labor and Industry will still be looking for you because you have to pay workman's comp. And then wherever you get your business license from, Department of Business, you have to shut down with.
How often do you have to renew your license?
For me, well, I have several licenses. For Pennsylvania is every 2 years on January 1st of every 2 years. For Delaware, I have to renew every year, but I don't know for the business is every 2 years for Pennsylvania. And I don't know what it is going to be for Delaware because I don't have one here yet.
Okay. Well, for Alabama, and I do see Miss Armstrong's comment, and I'm going to get back to that one in a minute. But in Alabama, we renew every year our business license. Now, I would say to keep on going, there's been many times that I said, I don't know what I'm doing with Rainbows. Just forget it. It's not hitting on nobody. So no, I'm not going to do it, But what I'm doing with Rainbows, one, I don't have the 501 because I'm doing it under Naturally Yours as a doing business as a DBA. So Rainbows falls under Naturally Yours until it could get off the ground the way I need it to do, and then I could separate it out. But right now, it's under Naturally Yours. But I won't let it go because I enjoy what I do, and I love the people that I serve. And when I feel like shutting it down, something's like, just keep going. And so then I'll get another revelation on how to do it better or market it differently. Like this year, it was make the bow go with the cause. So diabetes, juvenile diabetes is blue and silver. Let's do a blue and silver bow and barefoot sandal and let them know, hey, thank you for supporting our special needs community. This month, we're celebrating this cause. And so that gave it more meaning and more purpose to me. And even if you just bought it because you like the look of it, thank you for supporting the special needs. So I wouldn't say give up because it's going to keep haunting you until, it comes back to you if it's something that you're meant to do. Like the young lady with her bookstore. She's like, it keeps coming back to me. I keep quitting every 2 minutes, but I'm right back at it again with my vision because it's something I really want to do for my family and for myself. So don't give up quickly and easily because you never know. You might get that turn right there when you're ready to shut it down. That'll probably be the turning point for you.
Hi.
Yes, Tisha, I see that you responded. Yes. So for Miss Armstrong, if it's her salon, if it's her business, of course, why would she want the competition in her business? Why would she want you selling products when she's selling the products? It's a conflict of interest right there. So that's why y'all would bump heads. I was going to say it to you and I just saw your comment there. So so sometimes that's when you have to step out and do your own thing, because your boss ain't going to let you just run over her shop and let you do whatever you want to do. Because I don't know if there's other people, the next person is going to want to sell something and the next person is going to want to do something. So she has to keep it in line. Of course, she wants to make all of the profit because it's her salon and she has the overhead. She has the more expenses, So I could understand that.
Yeah, my class and I have written it in the comments. My class and I talk about these things all the time. What if Tanika uses, let's say, nail products? Tanika uses a crappy nail product and then now her tips are falling off and everything. But then Tisha uses the good stuff. Now, either Tanika's clients is going to come over to Tisha or Tanika's going to start pilfering my things. And now Tanika and I are fighting, or both of us end up leaving the salon. Now the salon owner is left with 2 empty spaces, and she hasn't collected her rent because Tanika not going to leave and say, oh yeah, here's my last month's rent. No, she's not going to do that. She's just going to walk out the door to Sally's down the street and get another job. And Tisha's going to say, well, I need a space where I can have my own private room or whatever. So I know that nobody's going to touch my stuff. That is one of the reasons that booth rental is not legal here. That's one, because, you know, a conflict, you know, I might use the good stuff, she might use the bad stuff, or you may like, anyway, it's a lot of reasons. But the another main reason is because if I'm the owner of the business, the IRS already knows they're going to get their money from me. But if I have like 4 booth renters, they're not necessarily claiming everything that they make. You know what I'm saying? Or they can like really scam, you know, I only take cash. And so they really don't really, report everything that they're making, wherein a business owner has to kind of be on the up and up, you know. Anyway, there's so many scams going on right now. But anyway, the IRS wants their money, and they know they could get it from one person under the Alternatives umbrella, as opposed to Tanika's operating as Tanika Naturally Yours. And, you know, I don't know, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's another reason.
All right, you guys, thank you for watching Twinness. We went over an hour today, and we usually don't, but thank you for joining us live. Thank you for catching the replay.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, thank you for the comments. Thank you for the shares and the likes. So we will see you guys next Sunday, again, same time, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I try to make sure I'm home on time for you guys on Sunday. So y'all have a great week, and we will let y'all know what the topic is during the week. Look for our posts, and we will share it out.
Yes, it will be business again. This was really good, guys. Keep the comments coming. I'm sure we're going to get some Facebook messages, inboxes, but we will see you next week.